Yeah, wouldn't you know it? It's so predictable. Australia's energy security took a major hit again today after Origin announced they're shutting down the country's largest coal-fired power plant 7 years earlier than expected. 400 jobs are going to be lost when the Eraring power station at Lake Macquarie on the New South Wales Central Coast shuts its doors in just 3 years from now. It's only been a week since AGL announced they'll close Loy Yang in Victoria's east and Bayswater in the New South Wales Hunter Valley 3 years ahead of schedule. The latest announcement's a devastating blow for residents in the Hunter Valley, of course, because the Liddell power station is set to close next year, meaning the region's 3 main coal-fired generators are going to be shut down within 8 years. I asked Federal Energy Minister Angus Taylor whether this means the national grid faces a looming energy security crisis.
Well, it will be, Chris, if new capacity isn't brought in. I mean, we've been resolute about this, and I've been resolute about this for a long time, which is when old generators leave the market, they've got to be replaced, and they've got to be replaced with dispatchable capacity, not just variable capacity. Now, we're seeing record levels of investment in household solar in particular, but it's got to be dispatchable behind it. And if there's not, then the lights go out and the prices go up. Now, we're bringing a lot of new capacity in, whether it's the Kurri gas generator in the Hunter Valley, the Tallawarra B generator in the Illawarra, the Port Gembler gas project we're supporting down in near Wollongong, as well as Snowy 2, of course. These are all important projects, but with Liddell closing, the prospective closure of Eraring creates a new gap in the market, and it has to be filled. Now, we were very disappointed to hear about this. I only heard about it last night. It's very disappointing for the workers in that Lake Macquarie region. It's very disappointing for the big energy users, and I've spoken to a number of them today. We'll work with the state government and the private sector to work towards a solution to this. But I think in the future, companies like Origin can do better than this. Frankly, giving us 3.5 years warning on a generator of that scale, coming forward as much as it has, it was originally planned to close between 2030 and 2032. This is extremely disappointing.
Well, as you say, this supplies 20% of New South Wales electricity. You were already worried about the situation, which is why you've put in government money to support the Kurri gas generator. Remember, Labor were going to oppose that. That'd be looking pretty shaky now if they hadn't done a backflip on that. But does this mean you're now going to need to get some more gas-fired generation into the East Coast super quick in Victoria and New South Wales especially?
Well, the first thing I'd say is all of those projects that I've just gone through need to happen. And Labor has opposed until very recently Kurri, but they're now supporting it but want to double the costs and force it to have a large quota, 100% by 2030, of green hydrogen when the economics don't work yet. So, Labor's playing political games around this, putting ideology ahead of the interests of Australians. We need to get a clear run to get these projects up. We need a clear run then to work with the private sector to make sure there's additional projects coming in without the opposition that we've had from Labor, from the Greens, and from many so-called experts. All these experts running around saying, Chris, that we didn't need the Kurri gas generator. Well, we've indicated on this, we absolutely need the Kurri gas generator, and we need more.
Well, this is the point, Minister. This is the point. This is the point. We need more. You're talking about tens of thousands of megawatt of generation going out of the system in the next 3 to 5 years. It doesn't matter how much renewables you bring in behind that because you need dispatchable power. Just what are we facing? Could we actually see electricity shortages within 3 or 4 years?
Well, let's put it in context. We've actually seen very significant reductions in wholesale and retail electricity prices, particularly wholesale, in the last couple of years, Chris, and it's because we have been making sure that the capacity we're losing is being replaced. But if this isn't replaced, we will be put in a situation where there'll be upward pressure on prices, and it'll have dramatic impacts on industry. You look at a business like Tomago, nearby in the Hunter Valley, big aluminium smelter, the biggest electricity user in Australia, completely reliant on affordable energy. So, as I say, extremely disappointed from Origin. Origin say that this is they've consulted with stakeholders. Well, I tell you what, there's some customers they haven't consulted with, big customers who are pretty unhappy about the situation. But the job now is clear. We've got to make sure we get replacement in fast. We'll say to Origin, you've got to be part of the solution as well. We want the New South Wales government. It must be providing an important support to this, or else we simply will be left with a situation where prices go up. I'll keep fighting every day, Chris, as I always do, and it's been going pretty well, but the fight goes on, and what we need is a clear pathway where the ideologues who are against these sorts of projects that I've just talked about need to get out of the way and support getting sensible solutions to what's a very important problem.
I tell you what, we are conducting a massive experiment in this country. No other country has made such a dramatic transition from coal-fired energy to renewables. If we do it, we'll be the first country in the world to do it. It's little wonder that France has just decided to double down on expanding its reliable nuclear energy. We'll take that up with you another time, Minister. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Chris.